Now let's step it up a little bit further, and I'm going to show you some chord voicings. As we did in the jazz blues, I'm going to show you some voicings that move up the fretboard that change the order of the notes. And a voicing in a chord is the notes from lowest to highest, and sometimes that order changes to give you different voicings on the top strings of the guitar. Now you can create some very cool melodies by doing that, and that would be called chord melody kind of approaches, or voice leading into other chord tones. And I'm going to show you that across the fingerboard, and it's going to add a nice flavor and a nice melodic approach to your playing. Now if you're playing with a piano player, or another melodic instrument, you might not want to play that. You might want to play a simplified spread part with those skank rhythms. If you're playing in a three-piece, or the piano player or the organ player is holding down pads, this might be a really cool approach for you, where you can add in some different coloration, different movement with the chords, and imply some melodic kind of phrases as well. Let's pull up the track, I'll show you what I'm talking about, and we'll get this into your playing too. Okay guys, so you hear me there playing an arpeggiated part, but I'm adding voicings to this, and I'm voice leading, putting kind of a melodic phrase on top of some of these chords too. Let me show you the chords that I'm playing, and then we'll talk a little bit about the arpeggiated part. Now what I'm doing is, instead of playing my full A minor chord that we played before, the A minor 7, what I've done is I've moved my top note now to be on the 4th string. So we've got a four-note chord, if you like. It's a triad chord instead of a 7th now. It's an A minor chord. And I've done that to give me a higher voicing. And then what I'm adding to that is a 9th. I'm adding, or a 2nd if you wanted to be theoretical about it, it would be a 2nd that we're adding. So I'm adding that B note and then taking it back off, which is giving me a melodic phrase of the A, the B, the A. Okay, so plus the other voices within the chord. Now when the D minor chord comes around, I'm playing the same exact voicing up at the 10th fret and adding that 9th in. You see my little finger adding that 9th, which give me a D to the E. Now again, you could call that a 2nd. I call it a 9th because a lot of people do. Theoretically it would be a 2nd. Then you go back to the A minor and play the same phrase. Now for our turnaround chords, the F9 chord, I'm now playing this F7 chord here at the 3rd fret, and my first finger's holding the F, the 3rd finger is holding C, the 5th, my 2nd finger is holding an E flat, the flat 7, my little finger is holding the A, the major 7th. Then what I did is I suspended that, so I was playing an F7 sus. So you see the voice move up the fretboard. Then I played an inversion of my F7 chord. Now here's my F7 shape. Refer to your diagrams that I've given you guys. And now what that's given me is this upper note of the C note. So the 5th is now on top of the chord. So here's our move. Okay, and then when the E chord came around, I slid this whole shape down 1 fret, and that now gives me the E7 chord, all right? And I reversed what we did with the F. Okay, so let me play that whole turnaround part there with the F9, E9 part. Now we're playing F7 sus, F7 and F7. So let me play that part for you so you see the move. Here we go. Back to our A minor. Okay, so you guys can see that. Now let's talk about the right hand approach. It's pretty easy to pick this out with the pick. So it's 1, 2, 3. So I'm playing up the strings. Okay, and then that pattern is repeated for the D minor, back to the A minor, and for the F7, it's the same pattern. Okay, so let's play over the track. Follow along with me if you would. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the first time round with you, and when it goes into the second repeat, or the repeat of this, I'm going to drop out and I want you guys to take the lead on this. Okay, what I might do, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the spreads and you carry on arpeggiating the chords on that second time. Okay, so copy me on the first time, I'll drop out and play the spreads to give you space, and you play the part. Okay, here we go. Okay, so also remember guys, combination of parts is key as well. You don't have to stick to one part in particular, you can mix and match. Okay, so you could even do something like this. Okay, so you get the idea. Mixing these things up gives variation to what you're doing. Okay, choose where you put each of these parts, contingent on what the other guys are playing in their track as well. So again, if the keyboard player is playing block chords, arpeggiate. If he's playing melodic parts, you put spread chords in there and open it up for him to improvise a little more. Anyway guys, we're going to move on to the next segment. Hopefully that was eye-opening for you, and have fun with this.